WFM 91.7.
An amazing afternoon to you out there. How is your day coming? Hope everything is going on pleasantly with you. You're welcome on The Big Question on Women Radio WFM 91.7. And it is 6 minutes past 12. Welcome on The Big Question. The Big Question is where we have discussions and propose solutions to issues affecting us as a nation and as citizens. The Big Question is broadcast from Mondays through Fridays at 5 minutes past 12. An amazing afternoon to you out there. How is your day coming? Hope everything is going on pleasantly with you. You're welcome on The Big Question on Women Radio WFM 91.7. And it is 6 minutes past 12. Welcome on The Big Question. The Big Question is where we have discussions and propose solutions to issues affecting us as a nation and as citizens. The Big Question is broadcast from Mondays through Fridays at 5 minutes past 12. You can join the conversation by sending us a text or WhatsApp message on 070-317-56537, or you can call us up on 07000-917-917. Today we are going to be discussing youth advocating for the passage of the gender bills. As of February this year, Nigeria ranks 184 out of 187 countries in the Interparliamentary Union Global Ranking of Women in National Parliaments. Quite low, I must say, quite low. Clearly, there is a need for women in the political space. As we saw what played out on the 1st of March this year, 5 gender bills were rejected at the National Assembly, and Nigerian women had to go out to protest peacefully and demanding for a reconsideration of the 5 bills. Though 3 of the 5 bills have been rescinded, Nigerian women are demanding a swift passage and implementation of these bills. Today we are discussing youth advocating for the passage of the gender bill. And I'm not doing this alone. I have joining me over the phone this afternoon, I have Wuraola Abulaton, who is a feminist and anti-SGBV activist. Good afternoon, Wura. How are you doing today?
Good afternoon. I'm very well. How about you?
I'm fine. I'm doing great. My name is Esther Alaribe. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, Esther.
Yes.
Nice to be on the show. Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for joining us. And I also have with me Babarinsa Damilon, who is a businesswoman. Good afternoon to you, Damilon.
Good afternoon to you.
Yes. How are you doing today? Thank you for coming on the show. Yes.
I'm well, thank you.
Thank you. Feel free to react to the big question. You can send in your comments or your contributions on 07000-917-917. And you can listen via the website at www.wfm917.com. Now let's go into more details. The whole protest, Nigerian women going to the National Assembly to protest peacefully, was born out of the rejection of the 5 gender bills. When you have a particular gender that makes about half of the population, and you turn down every bill that will make their life easier in a nation, what does that say? You are making a statement saying that you do not want these people or they do not count. Is that what it is? Well, let's find out from Wuraola and Damilon. Wura, I'll be starting with you first. What are your thoughts on the recent developments on the gender bills, from the rejection of the bills to the occupation of the National Assembly to the rescinded bills? What are your thoughts?
Thank you, Esther. I mean, like you said, you said that the lawmakers rejecting the bills, they were sending a message, that they didn't regard women. And honestly, when I first heard it, it was really, really heartbreaking for me and a lot of other women that I know, because March is Women's History Month. March also has International Women's Day, where we are meant to celebrate women, look at women's achievements in history, and then come together, talk about how we can make the world safer, how we can make the world better, how we can make the world more equal. And then so happens that lawmakers now choose this same month to reject bills that would advance our political and civic participation, and for no reason, right? Like, it's even appalling to start with that we have laws that are so discriminatory against women that says, oh, you as a man, you have this right, but you as a woman, as a Nigerian woman, you don't have this right. Why do we have such laws that exist in the first place? Am I not a full Nigerian, just because I'm a woman? Is there anything about my gender that makes me less Nigerian than the next man? Right? So my first thought, honestly, when I first, it was headache. I was like, I can't believe we're starting Women's History Month with this. And, the fact that we had to, even on Women's Day, we were out protesting. We had to protest for 10 days back to back, for us to even get any action. And then they said, okay, they were going to rescind just 3 of them. Why? Why are we negotiating our access to equal rights with our lawmakers, right? So, they even cherry-picked and said, oh, the one where you literally signed in, a law in 2006, right? This was done, the National Gender Policy. This was done to advance women's participation in politics and everything. Since 2006, it's been signed in. Now implement it, no implementation, no process has been put in place. They're not saying, oh, they could give us 20%. Imagine negotiating our rights, what we are due with them. So it's really been, disappointment. And more than that, it's also been a favor. This just shows us, and it's been a favor, and it's been a passion to even now ensure that we get these bills passed. Because this is 2020. I'm still asking my lawmakers to give me the same. It's 2022. My bad, right? I'm still asking my lawmakers to give me the same right that they have afforded Nigerian men since 1990. Then I can't even imagine. I don't want my children, if I do have children, to grow up fighting for the same thing. So we need it. And the judgment by the court, it just shows us that we have other people, we have a lot more people, and we still have some, how would I put it, we still have some respite, we have some systems that still work in the country.
All right.
So we just look forward to them now implementing, now that they are mandated, and then we want to ensure that they also look at the other 4 bills, pass it, then we can. There are so many other bills. We have the gender and equal opportunity bills, which has been rejected so many times. We have a lot of other policies that we've been trying to push. This helps advance women's rights. This helps makes life easier and makes the country safer to an extent for women.
All right. Thank you very much for that, Vura. Damilon, what are your thoughts on the gender bills, rejection, the women occupying the National Assembly? Because at that point where the women had to go occupying the National Assembly, it was clearly, you can see that it is just stating out that we have done enough. What we are demanding for is our rights. We should not be negotiating this at all.
It is very sad that in 2022, Nigerian women are still constitutionally second-class citizens. Because right now, the bill that they were supposed to pass, the bill that they should pass, would make Nigerian women more occupied and will give them more access to political positions, to give them more access to be able to engage and be able to be part of the politics in our country. But they have simply refused to give Nigerian women these rights. It's very sad, like you all have said, and very heartbreaking. And really, they should tell us why they do not want half of their citizenry to have access to their full democratic rights as citizens. It does not make any sense, because a nation cannot move forward when only half of its citizens have the power to make it move forward. A nation cannot develop when you are only allowing half of the nation to develop. Right now, Nigerian women, especially Nigerian married women, are constitutionally second-class citizens. But because of this bill will make politics easier for women. It will make more things easier for women, life easier for women in general. Because with more women in more political positions, there will be more access for the younger women to get into politics. The temporary special measure that we're asking for the reservation of 35% of seats for women in politics, is not an unheard of thing. It happens in other countries. Countries like Rwanda have already implemented rules and laws like this. And it's working for them. If you look at them, you can see that they are moving forward. It's just very sad that Nigeria has refused to look at other examples. There are clear examples of how and why these bills work. There are clear examples of developing and developed countries where their women have a say and their countries are moving forward. So I do not understand, and it does not make any sense to me why a government and the country and the entire House of Representatives will sit down and decide not to allow half of their citizens to access their full human rights. Because what we are asking for is our rights. Nigerian women are not asking for anything special. If you go through those 5 bills, you will understand that we deserve and we should have access to those things.
All right. Thank you.
It's also very
okay.
It's also very disgraceful that happened during Women's History Month.
That was just the sad part, actually. Thank you very much, Damilongo, for that. Now, still talking about the gender bills, a lot of conversation came out as regards the women did not lobby enough, they did not start on time. Meanwhile, so many committees were set up, so many lobbying, talking to these lawmakers, trying to get them to understand that we are not asking for anything out of the ordinary. Now, I'm going to ask you, Wura, aside the fact that they said that the Nigerian women did not do a lot in lobbying, what other efforts were made towards ensuring that gender bills were passed? And at this point, where are we currently with the gender bills?
All right, thank you, Esther. I guess that with politics, you do have to lobby for a lot of things. But I would like to believe that there are just some bills that I think it doesn't need lobbying like that. I know that maybe there's nothing like, for example, I don't know if the 2021 they made some adjustments to some of our bills around sexual violence, where before the Constitution didn't really recognize that men could be raped, all of that thing. Look at that, right? That is like a clear human rights violation. Are you telling me that our lawmakers were saying that people were lobbying and begging them to make laws safer for its citizens? Right? So, aside, the lobbying that were done offline, a lot of women organizations, we were talking about it. For example, this judgment that just passed now, we've been at it since 2020. At this age, they are not aware of it. You find a national gender policy since 2006. This national gender policy says, okay, give women 35% access. This citizenship bill, we've been talking, like anytime we're talking about, every other day on the internet, there are conversations around how, the Nigerian constitution is very, very misogynistic, is very patriarchal, it limits women a lot. One of the first things that comes in whenever those conversations come up is this citizenship bill. That is saying that, a Nigerian man married to a foreign born woman, can give citizenship, she can get citizenship, but, a Nigerian man, the foreign born wife or spouse can get citizenship, but if the reverse is the case where the spouse is Nigerian and the husband is foreign, they can't get citizenship. Like, these are a lot of conversations that have been going on. Okay. Now, we've been driving all of these conversations online, and since we heard of the rejection, every other day we are tweeting with the hashtag equal rights for NG women. We've also been tweeting Nigerian women occupying NAS. A lot of people have joined the protest, both online, offline. We've had tweet forms, we've had Twitter spaces, we've had Instagram lives, just trying to ensure that we carry everyone along, on these things that are going on and how we affect them, right? So I think so. We've done this. Maybe they just want us to come and be living, and it's going to affect everyone. I know that these bills are bills that you should look at, and every right thinking person should look at it and like, they will have laws that are still this backward in this 2020.
Let's 2022.
2022. I'm so sorry that it's a year, right? In this 2022, and just pass it. Now, where we are is I know that as at the last protest that was held, they were given 5 and 7 legislative working days to vote on the rescinded bills. So they picked 3 of the bills and said, okay, you know what? Let's take this back. We take back our rejection. We'll put it up for voting again. Okay. Right? So not just for them to vote on the rescinded bills, and we hope and pray they vote right, but to also look back at the 2 other bills that they didn't rescind. Also rescinded, then, like, we have a number of other demands that we've made. The Gender and Equal Opportunities Bill. I mean, we already have the momentum. We might as well as push it, right? There are so many other aspects of life, of living, of existing as a Nigerian woman, where the law does not adequately provide for us, or the law is discriminatory, or the law is biased. So once that bill, also pass, there've been a number of policies that have been pushing. So it would be nice, to get that out there. So that's where we are. We're really waiting on them. I am not sure if the lawmakers, the Senate or the House of Reps have made any statement regarding the regarding the judgment. Okay. So where we are waiting for implementation, and we are going to be watching them closely, because Nigeria really has this trend of maybe sometimes they pass laws and then implementation is where everything goes to die. Right. So we are really going to be on their neck to ensure that these policies, these laws are like they really, really put structures in place. All right. Because it's not just enough to say, okay, yes, we passed, the women can have 35%. Someone needs to appoint the women. Right? And they need to do it with a fair mind, and give everyone equal opportunity. All right. Right? So, yeah. So, I mean, and this 35% affirmative action is not even like, it's a measure. How would I put it? A temporary social measure. A number of the bills. They are just making so that women can catch up. I mean, we have been so relegated. Can you imagine that we have 109 senators in the National Assembly and only 9? And like that's about 4%.
Thank you so much, Wura, for that.
Right? Only 9. And then out of the 360 members of the House of Representatives, only 27 are women. Like, it is such an eyesore. And it's not like women. I know where people come, women are not contest. Women are protesting. Women are contesting. But look at laws that we don't have like this. How would they have access? Recently, someone on Twitter was saying, someone was trying to contest for, I think, Youth Party chairman. And then a man replied that she's female. And the man replied and said, why don't you contest for women? I
think I saw that tweet.
Why are you taking the seat meant for men?
I think I saw that
Imagine, and this man was also a politician that has a leadership in a top political party. Now, if that man is supposed to know how the law works, think that seat, that is youth party leader, that is not gender side, belongs to men. How much more?
How do you expect him to implement such laws?
Right. How much more law people that have access to even put women in this position? All
right. Thank you very much, Wura, for that. Yes. So, if you're just joining us, this is The Big Question on Women Radio WFM 91.7. It is 23 minutes past 12. The Big Question is where we discuss and provide solutions to issues affecting us as a nation and as citizens. And yes, I've been speaking to my guest, Wuraola Abulaton, who is a feminist and anti-SGBV activist, and Damilon Babarisa, who is a businesswoman. Now, Damilon, I'm going to be asking you, from your point of view as a young woman, when we look at a lot of people who have been involved in this movement, we really don't get to see lots of young women coming out to support this. Is it a case of they don't understand what these bills mean? Is there a way we can begin to do something different, like maybe leveraging on social media, hitting the streets, the kind of things that people want to see, or things that people would just tilt to? You are a young person. If there's a conversation on Twitter space right now, I'm very sure you will tilt more towards that than going on a Zoom meeting, if I'm right.
Yes, you're right.
Yes. So do you think that we should start using these strategies that will be able to capture the minds of young people to see the reasons why they have to advocate for these bills?
Yes, for about 2 weeks now, we've been running social media campaigns on this particular bill, on occupying land for Nigerian women. Okay. Nigerian women in Abuja have been protesting, going to the National Assembly. Physically, they've been there. Like Wuraola said, they were there for 10 days back to back. They stopped, but they resumed again. So I believe that younger people should just try to engage their social media more, because this thing is everywhere. There are Instagram reels about this situation. There are TikTok videos, there are graphics, there are flyers everywhere. We've been posting everywhere. We've been trying to communicate as often and as best as we can, because we understand that these bills will also affect our generation and the generations to come. These bills are going to affect everybody, even the men, because sometimes men believe that, it's just a woman thing. But no, you are going to need help. Everybody is going to need help. This is a nation. A nation cannot run on its own. It needs all of its citizens. It needs all of the citizens to run. So we are trying our best to spread everybody on social media. We have hashtags. You can click on a few of the hashtags that we have. Hashtag Occupy Now, hashtag Equal Rights for Nigerian Women that we've been running for a while now. There are graphic flyers everywhere. And also, some young people still listen to the radio. I believe that there will be young people listening to me now. So yeah, we are trying our best to get this news out there and this news across to everyone that we can. Because these things are important. Politics may seem boring because young people feel like, it's an adult thing. But it's not. It's very important and very essential because it affects everyone that is sitting in the country, whether they like it or not. Whether you are involved or not, whatever takes place in the National Assembly, in the House of Representatives, whatever takes place in the governor's houses, always affects you as a citizen, no matter how little, regardless of gender.
Okay.
Just to add, another thing we've also been, just to support what Dami has said, is we've been getting young people to send messages to their lawmakers. Okay. So if you check maybe shineyoureye.com or nas.org, you are going to see details of the lawmakers, of the House of Reps, of your senators. Their numbers are there, their emails are there. Young people would like, if there's one thing they say that we are press phone generation, let us press the phone.
People should press phone,
Press the phone and send them emails, send them SMS. Right? Send them messages asking them why don't they want progress for Nigerian women and for the citizens of the country. Ask them to vote right on these bills. Ask them to pass these bills. Right? So any phone you can hit at them, you can get their handles. We have a number. If you even search Senate NGR on Twitter, they are always doing threads of their activities in the Senate House. Engage each of those tweets. Don't even if you just be tweeting, pass the bills, pass the bills, pass the bills. Believe me, they are saying it. I remember clearly one time one senator went, I don't know if he said it during the House, that he said that women being raped was as a cause of dressing. That senator has to come back. I don't know if you remember. Then a lot of women plus men, we started sending them SMS on his Facebook. They sent SMS that, why do you hate me? Are you saying because of my clothes? The man came. I don't know what it was from a northern state. This senator has to come back and apologize and say, he didn't mean it. So he has to apologize, retract that statement, and now, fully say that there is no excuse for rape. That is the power that we have. They are listening to us. They have phones. They are using their phones everywhere. So tweet at them, get their details at shineyoureye.org or www.nas.org, nas.ng. We can give you, if you follow the hashtag Equal Rights for NG Women or Nigerian Women Occupy NAS, we can give you templated messages that you can send to them. So those are some of the things that young people can also do to engage.
Thank you very much. So I'm going to be going to you, Damilom.
Okay.
Yes. So let's talk about engaging young men to support these bills, because when we say these things, men just see it as if it's a woman thing, it's for women. But don't forget that this men, as a man today, you would have a wife, you would have a daughter. Then think about it, your daughter gets married and she doesn't have a place because you did not support the passage of the bill on indigenship or things like this. Or your daughter gets married and she cannot confer citizenship to her husband. Simply because when you had the opportunity to support these bills, you didn't. So how do we begin to engage young men to also understand that it is a collective effort?
I believe the first step is to stop looking at it as, it's my wife, my daughter, my sister. Start looking at it as a human thing. Because we are all human beings. We are all fully formed human beings. And everybody deserves full human rights. So instead of looking at women as an appendage start to think of them as one like me. Because in the end, we are one like you. We are standing 10 toes down. We are also Nigerians. We are also citizens. We also deserve to be able to confer citizenship to our spouses if we marry them. We deserve not to be floating, quote and unquote, when we get married to men from other states. We deserve full human rights. So I believe that they should also look at it from a point of empathy. Because they are human beings like us too. It's just simple human empathy if you want them to look at it like that. And they should know that by supporting Nigerian women, they are supporting the country too. Because the country cannot grow if everybody is not growing. It's just going to be half and half. These are not going to go anywhere because you are leaving us behind. And you are intentionally putting in laws to barricade our growth, to barricade our movement, to barricade us moving forward. So that means you're also stopping yourself. I hope you understand.
Yes,
They're
I
also
get it.
stopping themselves. They're not just stopping women. They are stopping the entire citizenry. So I believe they should look at it from that point, from the point of the human point of view. We are all human beings. We are all Nigerian citizens. If it wasn't we are all Nigerian thing. This is like we are all Nigerian. We are all human. Every human Nigerian deserves full human rights.
All right, thank you very much for that. Yes.
Okay. So just to add to what I I want to come from a slightly selfish approach.
Oh yeah, let's hear you.
And like as Dami has
I like
said,
that.
let's it's a human right. But more than that, what I want men to understand right now, this country is not functioning at its best. In short, since they bomb me, I believe that the country has been getting harder. Since I have been things have been getting harder. And who have been those people that have been making decisions? Who have been those that have been at the helm of affairs? It's been men. It is time to give women a lot of men will come out, their mom was the this, their mom was that. You know all the things their mom do. It's a mom that will take care of you, have 2 jobs, have a full-time job, have business. Imagine if she was given opportunity to take all of those management skills and decision-making skills and money skills, right?
And find them in public offices.
In public offices. Do you know how much better our life would be? So I even want me to think of it that it's selfish. Do you want a better Nigeria? Give women a chance to make it better. And even if you fail at it, give us a chance to fail. So when they fail, that's not them from voting them every year. That's not them from giving them all of the political positions. We all learn. We will learn them to do better. But for the time to move forward, and you get that is the true meaning. Like they said, it's government for us by us. It's not government for us by men. Or government for men. It's government for all of us, women, men. So think of it, because if women are in positions of power, number one, the empathy, like the decisions we're able to make, like even you will feel it. Your life will be better. So it's not a us or them. It's not. Your cousins, your women is good, but even think of yourself. Are you satisfied with the state of this country right now? If not, do something about it. Join our force and join our voices. Let's ensure that these bills are passed, and then let's wait for a new dawn for Nigeria.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Wura. Thank you, Damilon.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for joining us today, and I really do hope that you have a great day and you enjoy the weekend.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Yes.
Bye, everyone.
Yes.
Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yes. And yes, that was it on The Big Question, and we just discussed youth advocating for the passage of the gender bills. You heard from the youth what they think about the gender bills, how it will make the lives of women a whole lot better. You cannot classify half of the population as second-class citizens or see them as subordinates just because they are women. No Nigerian is more Nigerian than the other. So we must come together to support the passage of the gender bills. We are not asking for too much. 35% affirmative action, 35 out of 100. It's not even pass mark. But women are starting from somewhere. Lend your voice as we demand the passage of the 5 gender bills at the National Assembly. Special thanks to my guest, Wuraola Abulaton, a feminist and anti-SGBV activist, and Damilon Babarinsa, who is a businesswoman. Thank you too for being a part of The Big Question this afternoon. Do well to join us again on Monday at 5:12 on The Big Question. My name is Esther Alaribe, and issues like this do not end here. We keep talking, and we'll keep talking till we ensure that we get the Nigeria of our dream. Good afternoon.
WFM 91.7.